Alrighty, so our next lesson is going to be area of regular polygons. A polygon is a closed plane figure with at least 3 sides. A regular polygon is a polygon with all sides congruent and all angles congruent. So the following figures illustrate important parts of the polygons. Okay, so we have the center of our polygon. We have what we call a radius, which goes from the center out to one of the vertices. Okay, and then we have what we call an apothem. So the apothem is this piece right here. It's going to make a right angle with the base, and this is the distance from the center to a side. Okay. Then you have your central angle, which is this angle in here. Okay, it goes from the center out to both vertices, and we call that the central angle. Now, you can find the area of any regular polygon. Now, regular means that all the sides are the same, okay, of the polygon, whatever polygon we're dealing with. With the apothem, so we would need the apothem if we don't remember. The apothem is the distance from the center to the side, and it needs to make a right angle, okay? If it doesn't make a right angle, then it's not the apothem. So you can see it's right here. In the formula, we would do 1/2 A times P. P stands for the perimeter, okay? So we're going to add up all the sides of whatever shape we have. And that's it. So let's look here. It says find the area of each regular polygon, round your answer to the nearest 10. So we're going to take area equals 1/2 little a times p. Okay, so little a is the apothem. In this case, our apothem is 2.3. So instead of a, I'm going to put 2.3. So area equals 1/2 of 2.3 times the perimeter. We're going to have to find the perimeter by adding all the sides. So if this side's 8, remember it's a regular polygon, all the sides are 8. So our perimeter is going to be 3 times 8, because there's 3 sides and all of them are 8 each, which is 24. So then that's what I plug in here instead of P. I go ahead and put all of that in my calculator, and I get, 1 second. I get 27.6. Our units here are feet, and we're finding the area, so feet squared. Okay, the next one. So here, again, we're going to use area equals 1/2 little a times p. Okay, as a reminder, little a is my apothem. It's the part from the center of the circle down to one of the sides, and it has to make a right angle. Okay, so instead of a, I'm going to put 18.1. Here, so area equals 1/2 times 18.1 times the perimeter. We're going to have to find the perimeter. They tell us this side is 15. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 sides. So to find our perimeter, we're going to take the 8 sides and multiply it times 15, because each side is 15 millimeters long. And that gives me 120 millimeters. So here I put it in here, 120. I go ahead and multiply it in my formula, and that gives me 41.9. And then our units here are millimeters squared. Alright, number 3. So this time they give us 5 in the square root of 2, but they give us the radius, okay? They don't give us the apothem, which is this one, and they do not give us one of the sides of this square either, so we are going to have to figure it out. So area equals 1/2 little a times p. Because we have to figure both of them out, they do tell us that this line right here is 15. I know this is going to be a right angle. Because this is a square, I do know this is one of my special right triangles, where this is going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay. That means that this side is the same as this side. So if I make my little table that we remember from our special right, which is our 45, 45, 90, we have x, x, x in the square root of 2. So the one across our 90, they have it labeled as 5 in the square root of 2, which means that x is equal to 5. Okay, that means from here to here is 5, and so it is from here to here, which is 5, which makes the whole side 10. Okay, so now we know our apothem, or apothem, is 5. Okay, so instead of a, I'm going to put a 5. In my perimeter, we can find it 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Okay, my perimeter is 4 times 10, which is 40. So instead of P, I'm going to go ahead and put a 40. Everything else stays the same. Area equals 1/2 times 5 times 40, and that gives me 100. Our units are inches squared. All right, next. So again, they give us the radius. They don't give us anything else. So we're gonna have to figure it out on our own. So we're gonna need to figure out what is this apothem. Okay, so we need to find that. We're also gonna have to find the side so that we can use our formula. And so we're gonna use what we have learned so far in geometry. It's a mix of everything. We're gonna find what we call the central angle, okay, which is this angle right here. Now, if I drew all of them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's 6 total central angles, and they make one full circle. So if I do 360 divided by 6, that means each one is 60 degrees. So 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Okay, but this one, because we cut it with the apothem, this one in here is going to be 30 degrees. It's half 30 and 30. Okay, so if this is 30 degrees and this is 14, then I can find these other two sides of my triangle. Okay, so we can use our trig. I'm going to use my 30, 60, 90. Just because I think it's a little bit quicker. So x in the square root of 3 and 2 times x. Okay. The 14 is across my 90-degree angle, so I'm going to put it here, which means 2x equals 14. That makes x 7. So the side across at 30, which is this side right here, is 7. That makes this whole side here 14. And then the side across my 60 is 7 in the square root of 3, which makes it this side is 7 in the square root of 3, which is my apothem. So this is 7 in the square root of 3. This is 1/2. Area equals, and then last I just need my perimeter. So I said one of the sides was 14, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to find my perimeter, I have 6 sides, each one is 14, so when I do 6 times 14, that gives me 84. Okay, so now that I found all the pieces that I need to find my area, I'm going to go ahead and flip them in. So area equals 1/2 times 7 in the square root of 3 times 84. That gives me 509.2. My units here, we don't have any, so I'm going to leave it as u squared. Okay, so we have 2 more examples. Again, they give me one side, so I can find my perimeter. If I know one side here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to find my perimeter, we do 5 times 20, which is 100. Okay. Remember, the formula for my area is 1/2 little a times p. We already found p. We found p to be 100. Now we just need to find the apothem. Okay, which goes from the center down to one of the sides. Now we're going to have to figure out what it is. This shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 central angles. So I take 360 and divide it by 5. 360 divided by 5, that gives me 72. Which means each one of these is 72. 72, except for this one, because I cut it in half by the apothem. I'm going to cut that in half. That means each side is 36. Okay, so I'm going to draw my triangle here to the side, just so I don't get anybody confused. This is 36. Instead of this being 20, the half of it, this little section is 10, okay? And we need this side right here. Okay, so if this is the angle that they gave us, this is my adjacent side, and this is my opposite side. So we're trying to look for the adjacent, so we're going to use tangent of 36 equals my opposite, which is 10, over my adjacent, which is 8. We put that over 1 and cross multiply. So 8 times tangent of 36 equals 10. We divide both sides by tangent of 36. This cancels, and we get divided by tangent of 36. Make sure that your calculator is in degree mode, and it gives me 13.7, 13.8. Okay. So now that we found the apothem, we can go ahead and plug it into the formula, and we're ready to find the area. So 0.5 times 13.8 times 100, that gives me 690. And they didn't give us any units, so I'm just going to put u squared. And lastly, my last problem. Okay, so here, again, we're going to use area equals 1/2 little a times p. The little a stands for my apothem, which is this part right here. We don't know what it is. We're going to have to figure it out. Okay, and then p stands for the perimeter. We need to add up all the sides. We don't know what those are either. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 sides. So for our perimeter, we're going to take 7 and multiply it times whatever the side is. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this triangle and draw it here off to the side, just so I don't get it super messy. But this is 5. I'm going to go ahead and find out what that angle is. Okay. Since it has 7 sides, we would have 7 central angles. Okay, so I'm going to do 360 divided by 7, and that gives me 51.42. So I'm just going to put as 51.4. And so all of these central angles are 51.4. 51.4. It's like for this one, because we cut it into 2 equal parts, that means that each one is 25.7. So that means this is 25.7. Okay. So now we're going to need both of them. We're going to need both the opposite and the adjacent, but what they do give us is the hypotenuse. Okay. So if I first want to find the opposite, I'm going to use O and H, which is sine. So sine of 25.7 equals my opposite. We don't know. I'm going to leave it as an O over my hypotenuse, which is 5. Okay. If I'm looking for my adjacent side, I'm going to have to use cosine of 25.7 equals my adjacent side. We don't know, we'll call it A, over my hypotenuse, which is 5. Okay. If we put this over 1 and cross multiply, and we get 5 times sine of 25.7 equals my opposite. Okay. I wrote out the whole thing OPP because I didn't want you guys to confuse it for a 0. Okay, and that gives me 2.16, so 2.2 is my opposite side. And then this one, when I put it over 1 and I cross multiply, I get 5 times cosine of 25.7 equals my adjacent. And that gives me 4.5. Okay, so my adjacent side happens to be my apothem. So instead of A, I'm going to put 4.5. And then to find my perimeter, well, I know that my opposite side, this little piece right here, we said was 2.2. So if from here to here is 2.2, then the whole thing is 4.4. Okay, and I have 7 sides, so 7 times 4.4, that gives me 30.8. Okay, so it's going to be 30.8. I go ahead and punch that in my calculator, and for my area, we got 69.3. Again, they didn't provide any units, so I'm going to put u squared. That's it for me. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.